Okay, looks like we are live and ready to roll. So this is the first time that I've done this and want to do kind of more live sessions as a way to help provide some value to the community. So hopefully everybody can hear me. Streaming on a couple different places, and anyway, let me know. Let me know if you have any questions, kind of as we go. This will be, like I said, the first time. Hoping to do some more of these. And so you can send follow-up questions, maybe for future streams, future topics, and love to help you. My name is Phil, financial planner and owner of a company called Foundation Wealth Planning. We typically work with Catholic families, especially those that are, have kind of found a professional guru, whether they're business owners or a business professional or a medical professional, something that's really got, kind of added complexities. You got the family, you got the kids, you got a growing career, and we're kind of wondering, how do we make sure we're optimizing everything and, growing our wealth in an appropriate way? And so what I want to do today is I'm actually going to talk about something that's not really related to anything, um, Christian or biblical in any capacity. I'm just going to go through a basic concept of compound interest, and maybe it's basic for some people, but a lot of people maybe don't think about it a lot. It is a powerful tool, and the market has been very volatile. There's a lot of questions about tariffs and how should we be investing, things like that. So the whole purpose of this is just simply for education, to help if you're not investing or investing much, to motivate you to do so because of the power of compound interest. And also, if you are investing quite a bit, to again remind you of the power of compound interest. And this is why we stay invested even in volatile times. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share a screen. I got a little presentation built, and hope it's helpful as we go. So let's see. Okay, on my end, it looks like it is sharing. And so here we go. Power of compound interest, eighth wonder of the world. I didn't come up with that term. Einstein supposedly did. So we'll see if he's right or not. And let's rock and roll. So first of all, just setting a baseline level of what compound interest is, right? Unlike simple interest, right? Compound interest. So simple interest is just simply you return a rate of return or interest. And likely you're going to kind of take that dollar amount and maybe spend it or withdraw it. So say you have $1,000 and you make, 5%, it's $50. Now that $50 is not getting reinvested. So you're just going to get the $50 every year in that context. Now, if you have compound interest, it gets pretty cool because that dollar amount, you're not only earning interest on your current, what you put in at first, but also any dollars that have been returned on top of that. So for example, in that $1,000 example, we got the $50 in the first year. The second year, now we're earning an interest rate on the $1,050. So then instead of earning $50 in interest, you might earn $51 or $50 and some change. And it kind of builds and compounds. And so I got a few examples to kind of show you what I mean by that. And again, it gets very powerful as we kind of go through this. I'd like to do this exercise. And so if you haven't thought about this is kind of cool. I don't know how interactive we're going to be. It's like the first stream. Ideally, I would have some comments on some of this stuff, but would you rather have a penny, right, that doubles every single day for 30 days, or would you rather have $5 million today? So the result of a penny doubling every day, 30 days from now, or $5 million today? And that's a pretty tough question. And so we'll kind of go through this here. Kind of cool. So day one, obviously you got a penny. Really, you don't see a lot of magic in this whole thing. Day 15, if you didn't say, if you said, hey, I'll take the 5 million, you're probably feeling pretty good. And actually, by the time we even get to, day 25, we don't even get to six figures. But it's starting to compound pretty fast. So this is how the compounding really starts to build. And you see how now the doubling really kicks in. By the time we get to day 28, we've crossed the $1 million mark. Day 29, 2.6 million. And actually, if you get to day 30, it's $5.3 million. So not a huge distinction there, but I'd take $360,000 if I was in that contest. So it's a really, really powerful process of doubling our money. And this is the power of compounding. So if we look at that, and I got a few actual real world examples of how this breaks down for your life. And so we'll go to kind of the next page here. Because, and before we get into real life examples, I like to say, if we're going to say, okay, the penny is doubling every day for 30 days, sadly, our money doesn't double every day, right? And so most people are wondering, well, how long is it going to take for my money to double? And the rule of 72 is a really key one. And it's just really a back of the napkin math. It gets you kind of an idea of how long is it going to take for my money to double. And all you simply do is you take the number 72 and divide it by your estimated interest rate or rate of return. So for simple math, if we say 7% rate of return is what your investment might grow at, that means that what you put into the account will double in approximately 10 years. So if you have $20,000 and you say, well, how long is it going to take for my $20,000 to become $40,000? Well, at 7% rate of return, that means your account will be worth roughly $40,000 in about 10 years, which is pretty cool. That's without adding any extra dollars. That's just getting a rate of return and growing the dollars as we go. Now, how does this work in real life? So let's just say we had $7,000 per year to invest, and we're going to use a Roth IRA. Why we use a Roth IRA, that maybe shoots off another stream. I can address that if that's a question people want to talk about, but it's a pretty powerful account. And let's just say from the time you graduate college until you retire, using a hypothetical 8% rate of return from age 22 to age 62, you'd have $1.8 million. All right, and that's over a 40-year stretch, just putting $7,000 a year. Now, the kicker is, let's think through this. At 40 years, how much have you put in yourself in this context? Well, that number is only $280,000, right? So $7,000 times 40 years, that's only $280,000 of your own money. And so that means that roughly $1.5 million in this scenario is the growth of your account. And so that, my friends, is the real life example of the power of compound interest. And so this is why we want to start early. We want to start early and invest often. And even through these crazy economic times, and like I said, there's a lot of people that are worried about various tariffs and various things going on in the government. And I can understand various people's concerns on that. But the key is to just start investing and to stay invested. And it's really not till the end that you start to see the power of compounding. And the next actually example is going to be the one that really kind of drives this point home. So if we think about the early investment advantage, and again, if you're not young anymore, that's okay. I think the power is, can we start today? The more we can do now, the more your future self is going to thank you. And so the biggest asset, if you are young, is time. And the power of compound interest is the big key. So starting early. So if we take the same numbers, we say $7,000 per year, we have two examples of two hypothetical people. The first person took the $7,000 they started right after they graduated college, and they put $7,000 a year from age 22 to age 32. And then let's just say in this example, at age 32, something happened. They got sick or whatever, and they couldn't invest a single extra dollar beyond age 32. The second example is a very common one. We graduate college, we have $7,000 to invest, but we decide we're just going to spend it. We're going to travel. We're going to not really, put the money away for the future. And then by the time we get to about 32, we say, hey, we better get our stuff together. I'm going to start investing. And we do the $7,000 per year in our Roth IRA from age 32 to 62. So that's 30 years of investing compared to the first person that did only 10 years. In scenario one, again, at age 22, we put the $7,000 per year. At age 32, that amount's going to actually grow to about $100,000. And then if we didn't put a single other dime in and we get, approximately 8% rate of return, that number is actually going to grow from 32 to 62 to $1 million. So you put in 70,000 of your own money and it grows to $1 million. Now, the key is, what would you have in scenario two, right? So we said we had $7,000 to invest, but we didn't start until age 32, but we did it for 30 years. Well, again, age 22, we had zero. Age 32, we had zero. And by 62, we actually only have $793,000 in this scenario. But you contributed, the kicker is you contributed $210,000 to get less. Now, why? Well, it's compounding, right? So the extra 10 years that you had to get that dollars doubling, right? We think back to the penny example. The whole purpose of this whole thing is, right, the penny said we're going to double every single day for 30 days. Well, the whole point of the compounding piece is you want to try to get how many doubling periods can you get in your life? And the sooner you start, the more periods of time you have for that doubling to occur. So again, you start early, invest for 10 years, and then stop. You're going to actually end up with more money than the person that waited 10 years and invested longer, put more money in, again, because of the power of time and compounding. And it is just an unbelievably powerful process. So again, investing early and often is the key. Okay, so that kind of takes me, I believe, to the end of my just kind of scheduled presentation. Thank you for anybody that stopped by to check in, testing out the live. I just thought this was kind of a powerful thing. Again, life is kind of crazy with the markets and everything going wild. Invest early, invest often. And I'm happy to take some questions. I actually have a couple of pre-prepared common questions that I get that I'm going to just kind of riff through. I don't actually really even know how to read any chats on this thing, but if you have a chat, feel free to fire it away. I'll see if I can get it here on my little streaming studio. But anyway, a couple of common questions I get while people that are still here, because it looks like there are a few people watching, and thank you so much for people watching. And again, my name's Phil, Foundation Wealth Planning. Check out the website, foundationwealthplanning.com. Follow me on if you're on X, Facebook, Instagram. Follow me kind of wherever you're seeing, because I'm going to do more of these lives, and I want to do more this week. I'm going to do more coming weeks with different topics. Love to answer any ones that you got, and also be able to do Q&A. So if you're on live, the cool thing is you can ask questions about what I'm talking about. But I get a lot of questions that, like, we had the Roth IRA, for example, and the Roth IRA, a lot of people say, well, how do I invest in the Roth IRA? Like how do I invest in that investment? A lot of people think it's an investment. It's a specific type of account. The Roth just simply refers to a tax status. You put the money in, it's kind of an after-tax contribution, but the money is going to grow tax-free in that type of account. But the key is it simply is an account and it's a tax status. But then once you get the money in there, you then have to invest it properly. And so it's a key distinction. You can't just put the money in and it gets a certain return. You have to invest it wisely. And the other question I get a lot when I've given this presentation before is just, well, like, how much is my money going to grow in this account? And that varies, quite a bit. It just depends on how you invest it, right? So you saw 7% and 8% returns. Those are some kind of average numbers. Certainly the market as a whole, if you're investing in the U.S., has on average done a little bit more than that, but most people aren't seeing those whole returns because you have some international investments and you have bonds, and you also have behavioral investments of buying and selling inside the markets when you shouldn't. So 7-8% is kind of an average that we typically use, but results are not guaranteed. And so making sure that you have a proper investment strategy and knowing what you're getting into is key. But it all is based on what type of investments you choose and how long you stay invested and continue to invest. So it's an awesome deal. Okay, I'm going to check here for any comments. And if you're sending me any comments and I'm not seeing them, I apologize, but I don't see any at this point in time. But anyway, again, thank you for anybody. I'm going to just hang out here for a second. That concludes today's live. And if you like it, again, follow me, message me. Let me know what other questions you have. I'd like to do another one. I actually think I'm going to do another one tomorrow with another topic, and then more this week and the coming weeks. But anyway, hope this was helpful. Thanks for stopping by, and God bless everyone.